Fellas, say goodbye to Chuck Sherman the boy. I am now a man. I highly recommend you join the club. We are doing the wild thing all night.
Acid house music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sherm.
Sherman, I cook all this food. Is that all you gonna eat?
General Sherman realized and understood the importance of house music.
So, do you know anything about techno?
No.
Listen.
Yo, what's good, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm. Today is Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021, and this is episode 184, and if you cannot tell by the sound of my voice, I am so pumped to share this interview with you guys. I stopped by Niice and Steve Gerard's studio at their music garage last week and had so much fun hearing about their new project, the Basura Boyz. It's been too long since I hung out with these guys, and no surprises, it was an amazing interview. In episode 184, we got it all in and started by talking about how they became the Basura Boyz. Niick and Steve are both very successful DJ producers on their own, but when they decided to join forces in late 2019, we all knew this was going to be a special project that would take it to the next level for them. Their unique fusion of individual production styles is just as good as the ingredients of a Chicago dog. Not to mention, they are both some of the best DJs I know. The amount of potential they have is truly limitless. Now, of course, we talked about the Basura Boyz discography. Although the project is just over a year old, the quality of music they've released is on veteran levels. They've had releases like Lie Machine and Peloton with Eyes Everywhere via Sollors Systems, shoutout to Karsten Sollors, the Basura Boyz EP on Envied Records, which also features a collab with Wavepoint, and On Your Mind via Farris Wheel. All these tracks have a different feel, and we took a deep dive into how they all came together. We also had a great conversation on the future of house music. We talked about our perspectives of where house music is going in the near and distant future. Steve comes from the OG generation of house DJs, while Niick and myself represent the new wave. We discussed where some of the strengths and faults lie, both from a cultural and musical perspective. Either way, we are all excited to see what the future holds for house music not only in Chicago, but worldwide. If you've been a fan of Sherm in the Booth for the past few years, then you've either seen Niick and Steve on the show or at the very least heard me talk about them. I'm such a massive fan of these guys, and I can't begin to tell you the heat they have coming. And in classic Steve and Niick fashion, they showed me about 40 unreleased Basura Boyz bangers after the interview, and my jaw was dropping the entire time. Sheesh! Thanks so much for making the time, guys, and I can't wait to catch up again soon. Now let's get into it right now so you can hear their story for yourselves. This is episode 184 with the Basura Boyz. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm here at the Music Garage in Chicago, Illinois on the west side with two of my favorite DJ producers in the game, Niice, Steve Gerard, and we are here to talk about their collaboration called the Basura Boyz. I'm really fucking excited about this, guys.
Let's go.
I am still very excited about it.
Still very... Look at Steve, though.
I'm
Steve's
stoked.
losing weight, man.
Yeah.
I'm finding it.
Yeah,
No,
you
I was
was
kidding.
giving something to you?
Maybe, yeah. It might be what's going on, but yeah, I'm down like 25 over the last 2 months by just not doing shit.
Really?
Yeah, just eating less.
Yeah. It's all in the fucking kitchen, man.
Or lack of being in the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You stay in the studio here?
I've been limiting my time here, and honestly, it's helped.
Yeah?
Yeah, I used to be in here 4 or 5 days a week. Now I've come once a week, and maybe I'll work, maybe I won't. I don't know. Vibe's got to be right. Just haven't been forcing anything, you know.
Smart. Yeah.
It's like smooth jazz, just background noise.
There you go. How often do you guys actually get in the studio together?
Once a week, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But I have a home studio. I come here. I pretty much work on music maybe 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Minimum, for sure.
And you're fucking hustling, though, with the day job, too. Both of you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. That's
Been
the rough part.
hustling.
Both
doing
of us
that.
got big promotions at work within like 2 weeks of each other, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
We both were like, man, we ain't gonna be able to do this 5, 6 a.m. in the morning shit anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's down to like once a week. But I mean, honestly, I think that helps because if him and I start something or just he starts something, I mean, that gives you 6 days of just unapologetically beating yourself up over how shitty the song is.
Facts.
And then the next time you go in, you don't waste a bunch of time fiddle fucking trying to like get other things to work when you know in your head, all right, I got to yank this out, or I got to change this just right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, you get 5 days. You get 5 days of car tests.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
Yeah, I'll literally listen to a song the entire drive to work. Like, I'll listen to the same thing for 40 minutes straight. And it's like, I just pick it apart. I'm not even joking. Like, that's a real thing that I do.
Smart.
I guess. But your ears get a little dead, but you figure out what you want and
Yeah.
what isn't there. You know what I mean?
Is that a new process?
and then by the time the song comes out, you don't like it anymore.
Yeah, fuck. Who can relate out there? Does not sound the same once you hit play on Spotify.
Oh, never. Thanks,
Why?
Spotify encoding.
Is that why?
I'm pretty sure it plays back. I'm pretty sure everything plays back at like 192 off Spotify or something.
Yeah.
Not only that, but
But same with SoundCloud also.
SoundCloud is...
the loudness level is quieter on Spotify. So
Yep.
it's like 0.7 is like where it peaks, negative 0.7 as opposed to like, you know, masters might be coming in at like negative 0.1 or something like that.
Yeah.
So like they'll like limit your track that's already limited, essentially.
How do you guys send demos? Like SoundCloud private link, Dropbox?
Mostly SoundCloud private link, unless like, you know, sometimes it's a
all
Dropbox
you
link.
sound.
Key to that is making sure that it's downloadable.
Downloadable and individual private links.
Because
per
anybody
label.
that's gonna
That way you can see who's listening.
anybody that's gonna any label that's gonna give it a proper listen, they're gonna want to download it.
That's
and play
good
the
advice.
play the wave versus just streaming. You might upload it as a wave. That's good and dandy, but
Yeah.
I mean SoundCloud's gonna butcher the shit out of it during playback. So
That is facts.
make it downloadable.
I do the same. Steve, how many fucking private tracks do you have on your SoundCloud at this point?
300-400.
And how many different genres do you have on there too?
Shit.
300-400.
Yeah.
You just
Probably at
fucking
least 30
released
or
a
40.
whole rap album that you produced.
Yeah, whole rap album is out.
Congrats on that. I know you've been working on that forever.
Yeah, that was a God, that was like an almost 3-year little experiment of just
I remember you showing me tracks.
and
from that.
I mean it was just kind of nonchalant, like as a I shouldn't say a joke because like the music's really fucking good on it.
Yeah.
Musicality and the mix down and everything, but
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, I don't think it would have ever seen the light of day. Because all the other amazing producers I worked on it with, like, they're all out of work and bored as shit too.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helped. Like, it's 14 tracks. I worked on like maybe 7 of them, I think, 7 or 8, and worked with Kenny Graves, Cameron Loesch from Born of Osiris. He did most of the rapping. Nick Bernstein produced. We got Project Pat on one of the records from 3-6 Mafia. So
Mafia.
Mafia.
Pat, baby.
Yeah, I mean it's just a great project altogether. So I mean, hopefully it does well. We self-released it. It's my first time ever self-releasing anything I've been attributed with. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of things that may not have ever happened came about during the pandemic. When did you guys actually like? Because you guys have known each other for a while. And
Yeah.
It's just amazing to see you guys collaborate in a real, actual, like, we're going to do this and not just like a let's get in the studio together.
I think him and I were just. I mean, yeah, we met and would like we'd see each other. Oh, I'm wasted. Oh, me too. We'll see you later. Type of thing. But
Because we were at Soundbar every night. You know, every Friday,
yeah,
Saturday
for years.
you know?
And I would play main room every Saturday. Him and his crew would do the round bar in there.
Yeah, and downstairs, too.
Yep, downstairs as well.
And then I think it was basically when Nick, the room that we're in now, this is Nick's studio. So I think it was when he kind of moved in. He had another studio that was next to Hiroko in the basement.
Yeah, downstairs.
And I think it was then when kind of we just like were like fiddle fucking around a little bit. Like
I'd go to the bathroom, I'd hear house music banging, the doors open, I was like, hey, check this out real quick.
Yeah,
And then vice
you know,
versa, he'd like, listen to this.
just kind of going back and forth and just like messing around on each other's demos. And then I think the tune that comes out next month that we did, what the hell's it called?
Blow Your Mind.
Blow Your Mind. That's it. Blow Your Mind.
Yes.
Comes out on Farris Wheel Recordings next month.
So
and
we
that
have
was
On Your Mind and Blow Your Mind.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was the
Originally it was Party Line. It got renamed.
Blow Your
It
Mind.
wasn't on us.
Blow Your Mind.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that was our first track that him and I like finished as just like 50-50 together. And ironically, it's one of the last to come out.
I was about to say,
because of the
yeah.
label, yeah.
So that song got started in September of 2019.
Yeah, so like right before
September
the pandemic.
2019. So we didn't start doing like Basura Boyz
Right.
officially until we didn't really start working at music together until like probably almost a year ago now.
September was kind of like the
starting of like we started some stuff.
The test rounds. We got serious with it around December-ish, I would say,
Yeah.
because the first EP came out in like March. We rushed the EP out too because we got some we used a couple vocal samples we found from Splice, and then we were realizing that there's a lot of other dope artists that are trying to use these that have been playing like IDs and everything, and like I hear the acapella in it, but I'm like, ours is fucking way better. We better get this shit out before they do it, fucking ruin it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna want to release this. So sure enough, the Envied Records crew, Corey and all them, they're super cool and understanding, and they got it out early, and I think that helped a lot because I haven't heard shit about any of those other IDs now.
Actually, when I was listening back through it today, I thought the same thing. I think I'd only heard them from myself, like my own experience going through Splice.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great EP. I'm excited to talk about that shit. That was the first release. I thought it was.
That was our first EP, but I think we had
Lime Machine.
I think we
Lime
had,
Machine was the first.
Lime Machine was the first track that we put out with Karsten. Yes.
All right, let's check out the Basura Boyz' first release. This one's called Lime Machine via Sollors Systems.
You think I don't know when you're lying, know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like a lime machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lime machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a lime machine.
And then I think like a week later we had put one more out.
No,
another single.
It was the week later was the EP. It was like literally back to back.
A week after that was an EP, and then like we had 2 singles quickly after that, like the next month. So
I mean, you guys have like fucking.
That was quick to churn.
Off.
We were quick to fire those off. Yeah.
It was nice because how many times have you like said like, yo, I wish I had like 6 months to do whatever the fuck I wanted to like really pursue music or pursue what I'm interested in, right?
Yep.
Like I would always say that like if I just had 6 months where I didn't have to grind, at the time I was working almost like 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. Like, crazy hours, and then the little bit of time I had, I'd be DJing, I'd have like all these residencies, and I just felt like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Never had this time to work on music.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's like the silver lining of COVID was like, I literally get to work on music as much as I want. That's all I did. I did nothing. I was here every single day.
Yep.
I slept on that couch. Sorry, I cleaned it.
This is a pullout, by the way, ladies.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sitting out.
I'm not gonna finish that joke, but yeah, dude. Like that was just like the opportunity to see like how much better can I get if I just give everything to it? Like, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And like that was just kind of all these songs were the songs we made over COVID. We were able to just kind of like line them up for the year, and it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll get into Farris Wheel. I think Steve had mentioned to me that Farris Wheel, maybe it was you, Nick, that was like 10, 11 months ahead on.
Yeah, I mean
releases.
We signed that track that comes out. We signed it last November. So it's a year out.
That's
exactly
the reality of labels right now in the house music industry that I think a lot of up and coming producers get frustrated with no responses, long release date time. Like
for sure.
Everybody kind of took a different stab at what to do in terms of house music with labels and releasing music. Farris Wheel is Farris Wheel, They continue to release high quality stuff.
It was just this year though that Gene switched over to. They're doing bi-weekly releases now because he's got that much material stacked up. Not just himself, but just all the. I mean, he gets a shitload of demos every day, and obviously only a handful of those are like releasable,
right?
And like the quality is there, but I mean, the musicality behind everything that even a beginner's like. I feel like coming in as a beginner now to making music is much easier than it was a decade, 2-3 decades ago, just because the wealth of information and the accessibility to it is so much more accessible to just anybody. I mean, and you don't have to pay for these lessons. You could watch stuff on YouTube. So,
definitely.
I mean, I think that's a testament to why all these labels are so busy. They never could have imagined that they would get even small fledgling labels like I don't think anybody really would have ever thought that maybe even after a year or so of being an active label that they're getting all of this material sent into them, and I mean, you can't get mad at the labels for not everybody's gonna listen to your demo. You know, if they don't, welcome to the club. That's shit. I mean, how many labels you think Skrillex pitched Dirty Sprites to, or whatever
Scary
it's
Monsters,
called? Scary Monsters and
Nice
did I say
Sprites.
Dirty
Dirty
Sprites?
Like
how many like bigger labels than Mousetrap at the time do you think he shopped that to? That were like, nah, this is trash. So,
but I also think that like COVID made all these producers that were already like sick as fuck like even better. Because then they had all this time where we don't have to worry about touring. We don't have to worry about making songs on a bus.
Feel like they're falling behind.
Yeah, we're just going to sit in the studio and grind. So they just, like, the people that were already good had gotten advantage. So essentially, if you weren't working, you got pushed to the back of the line.
I saw a lot of collaboration, though, with people on high levels with medium to lower tier. I mean,
definitely.
Not that Steve is necessarily like a higher tier producer compared to you, but like he's been in the game, right? I mean,
sure.
that you guys didn't get time like you did if it wasn't the pandemic.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, exactly. I unfortunately had to work through the entire pandemic like full time. I was still pulling 50, 60-hour weeks, but
Jesus,
he's the GOAT.
But you weren't able to DJ on the weekends.
But I wasn't able to DJ on weekends.
Right.
So I mean, that's a whole other ballgame. I literally changed my schedule just because it was easier. It was easier to work during the week, like 3 days in a row with him. Yeah. And I'd be like, shit, I'll go in and work a 12-hour Saturday. I don't mind that shit.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So yeah.
So I guess we have that to thank for the Basura Boyz.
Definitely.
What is the name Basura Boyz mean exactly?
It means garbage kids.
Yeah, basically.
Garbage boys.
Basura means very literally.
It's Spanish,
trash,
right? Yeah.
Trash, garbage in Spanish.
So ask us how we came up with the name.
How did you come up with the name?
So one day I was scrolling through Facebook, and I was tagged in a post that said, "Me and Nick have started a new duo. It's called Basura Boyz." And that's how we got the name. I was like, "All right, bet.
All right, sounds good.
I guess we're running with it." So
I love it. I think it's so catchy.
Yeah. So,
how did you come up with it, Steve? Just came to you.
I mean, I'm fucking garbage, Tom.
Yeah. So. Own it. Unapologetically.
I always say that he's the Basura, I'm the boy.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
You like that?
That's a good combination.
It works.
So I want to talk about, before we actually get into each track, Nick, traditionally more of a fast-paced producer, hadn't released a ton of music actually, but you've been working in the studio for years and years. I'd call it maybe a little more night-based, driving bass line. Steve, a little bit of everything. We just matched in a rap album. He's produced dubstep with people like Porn and Chicken. But overall, traditionally tech house and house. Yeah. When we go through the discography here, we get this like incredible fusion of everything. Like some tracks, I mean, and I don't know for sure, and that's why I'm excited to ask, might lean a little more Nick, might lean a little more Steve, might meet exactly in the middle. Like initially when you guys were getting in the studio together, how did you decide, here's what we want to sound like? Or was it kind of just like shooting from the hip?
I feel like we had the idea of we want to not limit we want to make what we want to make. We don't want to limit anything. Yeah. If we have an idea that goes this way, let's run with it. Yeah. Let's release, let's see what works. Let's see what people are enjoying, and then we can always reevaluate. Right. Actually, we said in a year, let's make music for a year, put out everything, see what's working, and then go from there. Smart. But, a lot of the projects that I was doing as Niice, I've been converted to Basura Boyz tracks, and we've taken them home. Okay. And vice versa. Some stuff that he had as Steve Gerard, we've taken home. So I feel like we always worked better together when one of us kind of has the basis for the project done. So it's like, not the structure, but the structure's already done. It's kind of laid out. All right, let's take this home. Right. Because he has a different way of starting a song than I would, and vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of things that I like certain ways, he likes certain ways. Okay. I like the way his music sounds, he likes the way mine sounds. Oh. So if we get it to a certain point where it's like I wouldn't say all of the creative decisions are made, but like fundamental decisions of the song are already made, and it's like, let's make this as good as possible. I feel like that's where we work the best. Yeah, I feel, and especially like he just said, if he starts a track and it's 20 channels so far, and then I sit down and drive for a little bit, I'll look at it, I'll listen to everything individually, and I'll be like, all right, what of these 20 channels are you married to? Mm-hmm. We'll go by there. We'll be like, all right, I love this. This might be interchangeable. Yeah. Like, okay, color it something different. We'll go down the line. So, yeah, you have to make concessions for one another. Obviously, I think. Yeah, true. But it's a partnership. Again, we're not like we don't go in like, let's fucking take this TikTok song and like hopefully we blow up from it. I'm not playing that game because that's just like. It comes off try-hardish. And it's short-lived, I think. And it is. You're trying to do everything like really organic. Got a shelf life, yeah. Like, I mean, I personally, I don't always think
in terms of dance floor friendliness and what a crowd's gonna think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does a lot of the times. I have my moments where I do, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that's where he helps a little bit.
Yeah.
And comes in to kind of talk me off the ledge a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's not commercializing it. It's just kind of giving you a new
No, yeah,
perspective.
yeah. I mean, I knew going into this project that I wanted to be a lot more vocal oriented than I had been before, because I don't think I would rarely use vocals in my solo stuff. It would just be, you know, more organic,
Victoria's
weird,
Secret,
yeah,
and
weird, you know. And if it did have a vocal in it, I shouldn't say that, but like if it did have a vocal in it, I mean, the music kind of would still be the thing that would be driving the track versus the vocal kind of doing a lot of the work. And I think we try to do that a lot when we know we have a dope vocal or we track a good singer or something. I mean, I think we know that, all right, we like our tune Terrified. On that song, we were both like, yeah, this vocal can carry the fucking song.
Yeah.
We could do very minimal things in the background and with like the automation lanes and everything, LFOs and white noise and all that stuff, and we could really kind of make the whole track come together after we process the vocal and get the cadence of it down. We really don't need to do much else except build the song around it versus trying to build a vocal around like over musicality.
And honestly, like since then, we've been trying to do like pretty much all original vocals, like ourselves. So we've actually like all of our new music coming out is a lot of me doing vocals.
No
A couple
way.
of Steve, yeah. So the last release that we had on Farris Wheel was actually me as well.
I was gonna ask if that was Steve.
No, yeah, that was me.
Nice.
But,
That was Niick.
Yeah. Who wrote it?
me.
All right.
So.
Yeah, I think that honestly, that's one of those tunes where it was. Are you talking about On Your Mind?
Yeah.
Well, you know what we got to do now? Let's check out On Your Mind by the Basura Boyz via Farris Wheel.
Why you texting and calling me all the time? I'm on your mind. I've been drinking and smoking to pass the time. I'll be fine. Don't matter day or night. She think about me all the time. She blowing up my phone. I think I'll take it as a sign. The homies say she crazy, but that shit is not a crime. She got a couple babies, maybe some of them are mine. I get down on my knees and say a prayer and I'll be fine. We kiss and fucking make up and take down a couple lines.
collab with Bad Boombox, and then he was like, "I'm gonna go to Europe and like, you know, be a big fast fucking techno guy." Yeah, he's like, bro, he's like maybe 2 months before release, he's like, bro, he's like, I love the tune. He's like, I had a blast making it with you guys. He's like, but the Bad Boombox project just going in a totally different direction. No hard feelings. Was cool enough to still let us release it. So I was like, say less. It's cool, man. I get it. You know.
It's a dope track. I mean, it's truly original. Like, as a track within the house music world, like this one again, fusion of genres, and Farris Wheel was definitely the right fit for it.
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah.
Definitely the right fit because Gene is, you know, obviously a totem of Chicago, but the way he's kind of, for lack of a better term, adapted to all of the talent out there that comes, like, and that he's released, like, you're not just going to always hear what you might think is a Gene Farris track on Farris Wheel.
No. He's definitely embracing the Chicago scene, the upcoming Chicago house scene.
What's next? That's every label, too. It's like, what's next? What can I give it? Who can I give a shot to?
Yeah. Every track that label puts out is a little different. It'll be, you know, there'll be, I mean, he just put a techno, like, 135 BPM techno like released out 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Followed it up with like a chunky Dirty Bird type something.
Dude, he doesn't give a
So
fuck.
it's, I mean, it is what good music is. Good music across the house and techno board. Yeah, I don't like to see that bickering.
I agree. Nick, how was that for you releasing on Farris Wheel? I mean, I know Steve was releasing
That's awesome. I mean, it's like an iconic label, especially being from Chicago. It's like,
Yeah,
dude. I remember, so kind of a funny story how this song that's coming out, this upcoming song got signed. We were just in the studio. He's like, "Hey, come by," and like Gene Farris is there, and I'm like wet behind the ears of it. I'm like, "Oh my god, like, Gene Farris," you know what I mean?
Steve's known for a long, long time.
Yeah. So I go in, and then he's like, "Play some of your music." And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, oh, and I'm like, I play the first one, and it's like, it was actually that track "Man Down," which is like,
love that track.
But for Farris Wheel, like a little too hard.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
She's like, "Do you have anything?" She's like, "Do you have anything chiller?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have this track that me and Steve did." You know, so then I play that one. He's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "This is cool," and I was like, "What does that mean?"
And he literally was just like, "I'll sign that motherfucker." So then I think we came in the next day and we just rapped it.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Shout out to my roommate Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan
he did the vocals on that.
Wow.
So that was recorded in our old apartment, like right when we first moved in. That was like the first thing
I remember that place.
Yeah, the party house.
Party house. Wow, that's awesome. Jet Black.
Yep. Shout out Jet Black, my guy.
Fuck yeah. I mean, that's huge. Like, and Gene comes up and Farris Wheel comes up so often, and it's just like, I really respect Gene more and more every fucking day. Like, for what he's done with that label. And labels these days, there are some that are fucking cookie cutter, and there are some that are really trying to push the envelope. And I just want to give a shout out again to Farris Wheel. I'm glad you guys got more tracks coming out there soon. I doubt that will be the last one.
Likewise, yeah.
It's amazing. So let's take it back to Sollors System though. Before we talk about the track here, I want to talk about Karsten. I know you guys have known him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What's your relationship with him? And I know this is a newer label as well.
Yeah, label boss Karsten, man.
Yeah.
He's been killing it. He's one of the nicest people in this industry I've ever met, and like it's refreshing because I don't know, like I feel like there's a lot of people that are just come off the wrong way sometimes, or like they're so focused on their own goals they forget to like look back.
Yeah.
You know, and he's one of those people that was like with every step of the process, like was always helping us out.
Yeah.
Any way he could, you know.
Is he head A&R then as well?
Yes, that's his
runs
label.
it all.
Yeah, that's his baby. So.
Damn.
And from like he's one of those people that from every aspect of it, like the artwork, like everything, the aesthetic of the brand,
Dude,
the merch,
so cool.
it's just like
His merch, I was like, damn.
Every time he sends us our artwork, I'm just like, oh, that's so sick, you know.
He cares.
Yeah, exactly, and it shows in everything he does. So.
Did you guys, for this Sollors Systems Live Machine was the first track that came out, paired with 2 remixes.
Yes.
Was that, I mean, how did that work out timeline-wise? Like, how long did you guys have that done?
So, I made the track the night before. I worked for like 4 hours on my computer, and I brought it to the studio the next day, and he was like, oh, this is sick. And we just like worked on it for another 4 hours and just finished it.
One of those tracks.
It was just one of those tracks where like the groove was there, and it was just like EQ work and like let's make this sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the groove in that track is fucking fire.
It's a great tune. I knew immediately that I wanted Kesmalia to remix, because her and we had just worked on something. I forget what. She remixed something for me for, I think it was Weejack, I believe, Paul Ghetto Blaster's label.
Yeah.
But it went down really well. So, and she was doing big things as far as I could see on the West Coast. So I was like, why not ask? What's asking gonna hurt? So
yeah.
Sure enough, she was like, yeah, this is fucking dope. So I sent her over. And this is what I love about her too. She's one of those just like me. Like, I don't need all the fucking stems. Give me the vocal. Let me remix it proper. I'm not gonna reuse all your parts. So
right.
Her remix crushed. I was very happy with that.
Yeah,
so.
she killed it. So did Karsten and Finio.
Yeah.
They've done an awesome remix of it as well.
Really?
And that's like little terrace, like little darker roller.
Yeah.
I love playing that version.
Karsten has such a way with his fucking kicks.
Oh my gosh.
He's a good guy.
I feel like I'm in like an underground basement every single time I hear his track. It could be fucking sun shining in my face and I can hear one of his tracks. I'm like,
no, definitely. He's Chicago's Eli Brown.
Yes, he is. Shout out to Karsten Sollors, Sollors Systems, Live Machine. But we also had Peloton come out with Eyes Everywhere.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Eyes Everywhere guys. Probably some of the most underrated producers in the fucking game.
They're killing it. They actually just had a big release with the Now Strapper Boys
Yeah?
on rotation.
Yep.
Wow.
And they have another one coming out on Night Service, I believe.
With Kaysen.
With Casey.
Friday, yep.
So
Good for them.
Yeah, they're killing it.
And they had that track with Summit years ago too. I'm blanking on it.
I've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I was about to start singing the lyrics.
I've been to Montreal. Yeah,
I've been. Yeah, that's actually good.
Yeah, we got another. We got 2 more records that haven't been signed with Eyes Everywhere.
Yeah?
They're getting turned down left and right. Don't worry, I'll play it for you later.
See, that was like a bummer. There was a couple tracks that I've shopped recently, and it was just like, just hearing nothing back. Like, that's what kills me, is like, I'd rather get turned down. I'll take getting turned down. It'll make me go 10 times harder.
And that's why it's
just
weird,
nothing. It hurts
weird
so
too.
bad.
Like when the first like 5-6 records we finished and sent out, people were beyond fucking stoked on them. Like we had multiple options of where to go with it, and now we have like, we're in a weird spot where we have like 4 or 5 finished tunes, and it's just like, maybe we pushed the envelope a little too much. I don't know, or but listening back, I'm almost happy because I believe in him, and I mean, I'm not gonna cater to some fucking dipshit who's been doing AR for 2 fucking years. Like,
I mean,
cool.
shoot or shoot.
By all means, at least listen to it and tell me no.
Yeah.
Nobody likes telling people no.
Nobody does.
Which is a big issue, and then you got, and it's, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter to him either, really, that much.
I gotta make music to make my art. You know what I mean?
It is what it is. You might not like it, but cool. If I like it, cool. I'll play it and ID the shit out of it until people ask me, and then whatever, we'll self-release it. But there's no sense crying over spilled milk. Every opportunity missed is an opportunity potentially that's gained in the future. So we're not going to try to keep we're not going to try to force release on anything. But I mean, we do have a fair amount of music that we're having a bit of trouble placing right now. But I mean, we'll see. It's still next year's booking programming and label scheduling is still
full through July now of 2022.
Yeah, 2022 will be an interesting year.
Mm-hmm.
The second half too, actually.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what people are making now is what will be released a year from now. And
for sure.
I think every time I have somebody on the podcast
well,
that's proficient
2022 I think is really going to be the standout year for all the insane COVID productions that everybody's done.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm honestly, it's like one of those things that all these tracks that have already come out. By the time they come out, it's like, oh, this is okay, but I can't wait for these people to hear the.
You should hear what I'm making now.
Yes, So I feel like from now until July, we have a lot of those songs that we really are excited to have them come out. Yeah. I mean, every release we're excited about, but these are the ones that I feel like we really got to show what we can do.
Well, it's great we can DJ again.
Yeah, exactly. I think we got what 3 or 4 fully wrapped, unsigned things right now, but then we have probably 30 records that are just half finished, that we're just let's wait and see before we finish, and let's just let them marinate, let them sit on the computer, let's come back to them when because that's the best, is something might be good and you'll close the project, fuck it, let's start something new, but then when you find that file 8 months down the line and you're like, all right, I could finish this right now in an hour. I know exactly what it means. Yeah. I think that's the best feeling, honestly.
Yeah. Go to the graveyard. Dig up some fucking bones.
Right?
I love that. That's true. Okay, I gotta ask you about the Brave and Bold by the Moore and the Basura Boyz remix. Did you guys approach this differently since it was a remix? I mean, you just said...
No, honestly, it was about 1:30 in the morning. Karsten sent a remix pack, asked if we wanted to do it. I listened to the vocal immediately, and I was like, absolutely. And then I think we only spent 6-7 hours on that.
6-7 hours on it, and then it was maybe...
So vocals really inspire you guys, though.
Yeah,
he's a great fucking vocalist.
That vocal was just insane.
It was
so
I immediately heard it, and I'm like, this needs the Kyle Watson treatment.
Yeah. So, it does have a little box of cats.
It was we worked on it that night for 6 or 7 hours, and then...
And it was 90% fucking done already. Then we were like, let's just bounce this, stem bounce it, and then let's just fully mix this down and get it playable next session.
But the next session never came.
Yeah.
Because it was 4 days later, and he's like, hey, I need it by this weekend. And I didn't have any time to get into the studio. Neither did he, because we were working all weekend, because we were back into the swing of things. So I'm up until 3 a.m. on my laptop with my headphones. And, I don't like to produce on headphones, but I didn't have an option.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I hope this sounds good on speakers. Because I didn't have a chance to car test nothing.
Yeah.
So I bounced up these stems and I sent them, and I'm like, I hope it sounds good. And then I got the master back, and I was like, wow.
I think it's one of your guys' best tracks, actually.
Yeah, I love that one. It plays very well live. That bass line plays very well live,
Yes.
It's definitely a club track. So
definitely.
Yeah, and it was a weird feeling because again, it was a super quick throw together. Like,
yeah.
Like I think I laid out like the structure and warped because that original track is only like 114, 115.
Yeah, so it was like a weird BPM.
So we had to change the cadence of it fully, and I think I did all that like before we even got down to like writing bass line and like counter melody, that like you know. Once the intro and the first break was written, the rest of the song just fully wrote itself.
Oh, I love that.
So that was really easy to.
That's a great feeling.
That was one of those. It doesn't happen very often where you're just kind of both on the same page. You know when you kind of reach the threshold of like we're about to overproduce it and like fuck this up.
Yeah.
Or we didn't do enough. You know, there's a really fine gray area in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta kind of just ride the rail on that for, some of the collab sessions. But that's also a testament to I think why him and I work so well together is, he was just in Vegas being a fucking drunkard for EDC week, and then like last week he couldn't come. Last week he couldn't meet, so like I started some new some new percussions and everything, and
they're still sending projects back and forth.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
just
back and forth.
Like, what do you think? Blah blah blah. So
you guys are really about this project right now.
Yeah, I mean, I told him beginning of last year, like, right in what was it, like, very beginning of 2021. I was just like, I'm gonna go all in on this shit this year. Like, I mean, as Steve Gerard, I think I only had like 3 releases come out this year. Everything else has been Basura Boyz, and we were close to putting a release out every month.
Yeah.
This year.
The only one, a couple got pushed back. Yeah, that's the only thing. But other than that. We would have had one every
Is
month.
this a new challenge for you as a producer in a way, Steve?
I think being as stubborn as I am and like knowing what I like in the context of a nightclub setting, like when I'm DJing, like obviously I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But in a studio setting, I also have to take into account another person's feelings and input.
For sure.
Which is there's no problem in that.
But he also
knows if I do something he doesn't like, he has no problem being like, this fucking garbage, bro. Like, no, stop. And vice versa.
Definitely.
You know?
I love that.
We've definitely had those. Well, this will just be a Niick Nice song then. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that, and I'll get up and be like, fine, whatever, motherfucker. And I'll go smoke a cig on the couch.
But see, I respect
and then 10 minutes later, I'll be like, all right, yeah, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
No, but I respect it because, you have those people that you look to for like critical thinking about this track. Like, what do you think? What are your opinions? And they're like, oh yeah, this is cool. I respect the fact that he's like, no, this sucks. Delete it. Because imagine how many random paths I would have gone down in the last year if I didn't have somebody, and vice versa. Keeping like say this is good, this isn't. Yeah. I think that's important to have somebody that you could trust their opinion and then they're real with you, at the same time.
Yeah. Especially with your buddies, you're not doing your buddy as much as people like to say. Yeah, you support your homies. Like it only takes like 1 click or 1 like or 1 share on something to be able to like change somebody's trajectory. Yeah, but also you're not doing your homies any favors by telling them something's good if it's piss.
That is fucking cold hard truth right there.
Yeah.
Especially in music too. Like Nick, you mentioned it's art, so it's subjective. Right?
It is subjective, but there is still a.
But if you ask if you work with a homie. Yeah. Or you ask if it's a producer friend, you don't just send, like, I'm not going to send a dubstep track to a tech house producer, right?
For sure.
You guys both understand house music and production, so you tell it like it is.
Yeah.
And you both have made your fair share of mistakes in production, had your fair share of successes, and now you're meeting in the middle to create this fucking beautiful thing.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Love it. So you mentioned the Basura Boyz EP on Envied Records. You got another one coming out too?
It's in the works.
These homies like you then, huh?
Yeah, they're great people. Honestly, they were out here North Coast and Arc weekend, so we got to like.
Yeah, we could say that shit. They're gonna release another two track EP from us probably in March.
Okay.
March is the goal right now. Nothing's on paper, but right before EDC started, I got drunk, and
So just another day.
Story.
I got drunk and I was like I had talked to the Eyes Everywhere guys and I was just really fucking pressed that like nobody was like down to take these tunes because like over 20 huge labels all got back and they're like, this is an amazing record. It's produced super well, but it doesn't fit with what's on our current it doesn't fit the vibe of our current release schedule.
And you'll hear it. It's a little.
And I understand that completely, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah, you're pissed.
You know, So yeah, I got a little drunk and I might have just sent it over to the Envied guys. To his cell phone, not to email, by the way.
he played for him over FaceTime.
And just it was just like, bro, like, do you have any interest in this at all?
Yeah.
Like, shoot me straight. If not, then we'll go back to the drawing board or just like salvage it for parts, basically. Yeah. So sure enough, like 2 hours later, he's like, we'll take both of them. So I was like, cool, thank you.
Money.
Now I could get this thing out of my closet.
Yes.
And you know, like,
and one of these tracks, to be honest, is my favorite track I've ever made.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'll show it to you. I think it's one of our best tracks we've done.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, the
I'm
first
super
EP
stoked.
is incredible. Like 3 different sounds here. Terrified, which you mentioned earlier, definitely has Lie Machine vibes to it. Mandem, you mentioned, a little bit quicker. Slapper.
Bass house.
Definitely hearing some Niick Nice vibes in that one. And Party with Wavepoint, who is the man, and for those that didn't know, former member of Golf Clap. Yeah. Really love what he's doing with this new project. Talented guy, so well known in the industry for just being a good person, too. That one's bouncy and beefy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to check out this amazing collab. This one's called Party by the Basura Boyz and Wavepoint via Envied Records.
A little party never hurt nobody.
Song too, like Nick and I started that, and it was like Nick started that one, and
I started all 3 of these the day before New Year's Eve. Like I was just like in this weird mood where I was just like chilling in my boxers on my couch, and I'm like, I'm gonna make 12 different ideas today.
Yeah.
So like I literally 40 minutes, I'd get an idea done, new project. 40 minutes, new idea. 40 minutes, new idea. And then I was like, Steve, what's one of these do you think that we should work on? And then we worked on a few, and then those are the 3 that came of it. So
that's awesome.
It's kind of funny, you know.
I was gonna ask how they actually like were paired together.
Yeah, so essentially we were talking to the Envy guys. They wanted us to do an EP for them.
We had here. It was, I remember this vividly. We had gotten like 85% done with like 7 or 8 tracks, I think. And yeah, like 5 of them were kind of booty. But, like, they were at the point where they could easily be fixed and finished and polished up nice.
Right.
Those were just the 3 that Envy picked.
Yeah,
we let them pick. We sent them 8.
Which 3, and then these are the ones we'll finish up.
Okay, I like that, because you really got it, like,
but honestly,
a few styles.
I prefer that approach when it comes to dealing with a bigger label, especially if a bigger labal, if and when
if you have
they
that
come
relationship with them.
Yeah, you know, be like, ooh, I mean, shit, what else you got laying around?
Yeah.
Then we could just make a quick playlist to bounce. That's another great thing about just not forcibly, like, forcing finishing a project down your own throat.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not coming naturally, hit fucking render, bounce it, put it up in private, just so you have it.
Yep.
You know? Because you never know. 8 months down the line, somebody asks you a question, hey, what do you got laying around? Cool, I'll email this over to you. I mean, it still needs a little bit of work and, you know, has to be taken home, but yeah, let me know. Sure enough, 9 out of 10 times, any casual listener will appreciate it.
That's true, and something I think a lot of people don't understand is if you release on a label, they're doing you a service as well, right?
For sure.
So it's up to them how they're going to present your music.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard time and time again, you'll send a playlist of tracks, and you're like, I'm going to put the one that I think they're going to love. The first 2 at the top. They pick the 3rd and 4th.
Yep.
And
It's
like,
crazy.
Fuck.
It's so funny that you say that. Like, the songs that, like, have had the most success for us,
yeah,
like, aren't necessarily our favorite songs.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that's I'm not the consumer of it, so who am I?
Exactly,
and
that's what a label does for an artist is they give you that outside perspective. Because as an artist, like you get so attached to an idea that could have happened in your boxers on the couch, right? And that moment is special to you guys, but the average listener may not know that moment, right?
Exactly.
So it's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but it is the important thing to understand when you release on labels. It's
Definitely.
Like, it's up to them.
Exactly.
But love it, guys, and it's exciting to hear you have all this new music coming. I mean, I feel like Steve always sends me fucking IDs, but they're just like Basura Boyz, Basura Boyz, Basura Boyz, Basura Boyz, Basura Boyz, and I'm like download. Like I'm playing a set at Chop Shop on Friday, and I was just like, this is finally get to fucking drop some Basura Boyz.
Let's go.
This is the perfect fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's awesome, and that's actually one of my favorite parts about you guys' brain. I know how good of DJs you guys are individually, like very fucking good. I've gone back to back with Niick so many times, seen Steve play a multitude of opening and closing sets. You guys together as DJs is fucking dangerous.
It's fun.
I'm very, very particular with who I play with.
I know you are,
extremely, and yeah, I will even when it comes to DJing, not only DJing but just as a producer too. Like you're in the studio with hundreds of different people a year. At least I am. But
Yeah.
Nick's gotten incredible over only like 2 years. It only took this kid, so
He works really
I'm
hard.
super happy and proud.
I'm proud of him too. Yeah, hell yeah. Look at that. Steve's got a heart.
I need a screen grab of this.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna make us cut that.
No, but yeah, I think everything is going well for us right now. Obviously, we're just kind of in the weird waiting game right now. We're in between, like, you know, releases right now. We only have releases scheduled for January, February, and March right now, so we're still good. We have a big record coming out in December on Slightly Sizzled.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be a big one.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'm super excited. That's
Love
that's
Slightly
nice one.
Sizzled.
It's definitely our most like underground tech house banger
Yeah.
that we've made yet.
And that's why I'm saying, like, you guys DJ sets, like, you could easily do all original Basura Boyz, like, for sure, and get a...
oh yeah, we could definitely do like an hour set right now. Hopefully by the end of the year we could get to like a 2-hour all original set.
What about it? Like, I know you guys, like, played an early set at North Coast, but, like, are you guys just freestyling? I know you are, but,
100%.
like...
Oh yeah, we don't. I'm glad that he agreed to that. Like, we could have a general idea, like, before we'll go into it. And obviously another thing that I kind of wanted to get him into is, like, it's not worth, like, we both have day jobs. We're not trying to play that game of, oh, here, you guys do it for, like, $200, $300. It's like, no, it ain't worth my fucking time. I've been around the block long enough. I'm
You
not trying to
guys
do
have
that shit.
earned-
Nick's got bills to pay. I got bills to pay. Like, he's got a job. Is making $150 a piece really worth peeling my ass off the couch? Not really. Or pulling us out of what could be a studio night.
Yeah.
It's not. So
Yeah. No, and I respect that.
we're just in the lane right now where and thankfully we're able to pick and choose the things that we want to do, which is, like, it takes people years and years to get to that point. But
Yeah.
now, and it's also trying to gauge, like, still being local. I mean, not, like, oversaturating yourself and doing, like, a ton of shows. Like, ideally next year, 2022, if we could do 4 or 5 really good Basura Boyz shows that year, I'll be happy.
That's what I was going to say.
You know, Nick has a full DJ schedule himself still. As Nick plays 3-4 nights a week still.
But see, I've even slimmed down on that. Like I took out everything that wasn't house. If it's not what I want to play and it's not for the rate I want to play it for, I'm saying no to it. And that's what I've said all 2021.
Yeah.
It was the scariest jump because there was a point where before COVID,
you're so
I had
used to playing 4 or 5 days a week.
more than that. We would have like 6 to 8 residencies for Be Nice every single week, and like just it's crazy thinking about how much running around we did. And it was just like I got so sick of it. If it's not what I want to play, and it's not paying, like, if I'm not getting paid well, I don't have to chase down people for a check. I want to get paid there the night of. Anything else, it's like it's not worth my time. You know, like I'd rather be in the studio getting better because that's what's gonna make that rate go up even higher. Not chasing down a check, you know.
And we have the day jobs. I said it too. I have a day job.
Mad respect to you too, man.
I don't want to fucking. Dude, in the beginning, you do that shit because you think it's what you have to do, and to a certain extent you do. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, how many years combined do you guys have in the Chicago industry right now? Steve? I mean...
I have 5 years since I was 21, so 5 years.
But a solid 5 years, bro.
Yeah.
God, 18.
Yeah, I was going to say 20 at least, so, like, connections on every level, personal
Almost
relationships.
almost 20. I'm like 16, 17 in.
And takes time.
Yeah.
Fucking a lot of youngsters on here watch. They want to
It
know.
don't happen overnight. There's no miracle cure to get better. Obviously, like, being connected and around the right people helps, but I mean, you still need to have some fucking juice to be able to be considered to have a seat at that table.
True.
You know, and I also, like, this also goes back to, like, with SoundCloud and Spotify and all that, like, yeah, kids will put a record out and nice, 1 million to, 1,200,000 people listen to it. Congrats, man, that's huge. But I mean, did any of them buy the record?
Yeah, who are they?
Like, yeah, but like what? Would 16 people buy that? Like, the paying to get on the playlists and then people screen capping that themselves and posting it like, oh, made it to blah 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 playlist. Like, awesome, you paid for it, but cool. So if you're not doing it organically, then what the fuck are you doing? Because cool, you could have a million plus plays on all your stuff, but like, and you could tell that to a talent buyer in, Detroit or
the people that matter could see.
Minneapolis. The people that matter and the people with, some semblance of an operational, like a nightclub operational brain, like, they can tell the difference between like what's fake and what is real. So what happens when you book somebody who has 20 songs out, all with over 1 million plays, but nobody's ever fucking heard of them, and you sell 4 tickets, which happens every single week, all over the country. This happens.
They have 1 million plays. Oh wow, 1 million plays in my first week. Oh well, 2 months later you have 1 million plays in 74.
Oh wow, they're verified on Instagram and have 70,000
147,000 followers, but 14 interactions per post.
Yeah,
wow.
it's like,
that's crazy. They have more likes on the video than they do views. That's my personal favorite.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How did you do that, man?
It's just a matter of not getting again. Him and I are both very fucking nonchalant about this. Yes, we don't get it twisted. We
care
do
a lot,
care,
but we want it to be organic. We want this snowball to be built organically. We don't want it to be pushed off a ledge. We want it to keep rolling.
Same page.
So.
All about the longevity.
Yeah, man.
And it's a lot more fulfilling when you work for years to hone your craft and build your fan base. And this Sherman the Booth, bro. Like,
listen, I mean,
where I was year one was like, what do I have to do to get plays? That shit doesn't fucking matter. Like, if only the people in this room, like, watch this episode, I'm cool with that. Because I'm going to sit on my fucking rocking chair and be like, I remember that conversation I had with the boys at one time. And that was great. And Steve said he was proud of Nick.
I'm just going to have that as, like, my trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
On the highlight reel, Steve
like,
saying that.
It's just like, and you see that fake shit all the time. And it's really easy, and we could probably do a whole episode about.
But that stuff burns out, you keep going. You know what I mean?
It doesn't last.
It doesn't last.
It doesn't last. It doesn't. But I've been asking this question a lot, and I think it's more prevalent than ever right now, and it's just house music where we're at as a whole. It is, I don't know the right word for it because it keeps changing every day. It's getting commercialized because it's getting more popular. People like Fisher, Chris Lake, Lane 8, Lee Foss, Green Velvet, to us, those guys are huge, right? But now, those guys are bigger than ever.
Oh, for sure. The crossover is crazy.
Why do you think that is?
This is why I think it is. Okay, when you take a break from your life, right, and you're home all day, you're not in your car listening to B96. You're on Spotify, you're listening to what you want to listen to.
Yeah.
Not what everyone's telling you should be listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that let people branch out, got to experience music. You're scrolling through Facebook, you're seeing all these DJs live stream. Maybe you tune in and you start liking it.
Yeah.
Things like that.
True.
Now there's no shows, you can't go to anything, but now there's a drive-in show. And there's a house guy playing.
Yeah,
and then maybe you have fun with your friends. You're like, wow, that was a blast.
Yeah.
And you start digging into the scene.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it, like indirectly, like at least from my experience and what I've seen.
I would also say that tech house. Is it's the next logical stepping stone from the commercialized EDM, which would be Millennium,
Yeah.
Porter Robinson, all the shit that you could still hear on your radio. Like,
Yep.
that's everybody's first kind of nosedive into electronic music. The 18-year-olds
The Zeds, the
that go
Calvin
to their
Harrises.
that go to their first EDC, that's what they're accustomed to. That's what they think everything is. They're in the one bubble, but little do they know they could slide over 100 yards away and, expand their mind a little bit.
It's true.
With something different. So the next logical stepping point, there's still vocals in it. Everybody's into this big fucking, let's take a TikTok vocal, or let's take a late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop vocal and put it over a 4x4.
That's true.
Everybody's into that, so that's the next logical stepping point. Mark my words, give it 2-3 years, the same people that are, like, frothing over, like, a very, very, still great music, but very, very basic, in other words, what would be considered a DJ tool 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now these are full-on original tracks, and people are appreciating them simply because of a vocal and simple, what's the word? Simple nostalgia. Be like, oh, fuck Sierra. Oh, hell yeah. It's what happens. 3 years from now, they're all going to be banging minimal.
So
I
true.
feel it coming for
Watch.
myself. I feel it coming.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know when it happened.
It's gonna happen. It's the circle of life. It happens every 5 years. Every major influx of fanship in like viewer bases that come in new as like new consumers to electronic music. They have like a 5-6 year cyclical thing where cool.
As long as it's not hardstyle, I'm with it.
Main stage, cool. Now you're coming back around. Now you're at the tech house loop. Now you're making your way into minimal and techno. See where you go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said on both fronts. Every time I ask that question, I think about like if I asked myself that, why do I like house music so much more than I used to? And it's because you go to the festivals back in the day. I go to get fucked up with my friends, main stage, give me Hardwell, give me the loudest big room drop, right?
For sure.
Like year 1, 2, maybe 3. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, all right, like honestly, I can't party that anymore.
I've been here before.
Yeah,
I've heard this before.
I'm good.
I'm
but
straight.
I still want to go to. I still love electronic
still want
music.
to go. So where do you go next?
So
you go to the tech house then.
Exactly, and
you
I can do that.
You enjoy that for a few years, and I will say though, the one thing that tech house is doing right in comparison to when like trap blew up and the EDM and the dubstep stuff blew up.
Yeah.
Is everything the production value behind all the new tech house stuff coming out is like light years away from when Big Room popped up and then it's just a limited
Dude, this
you go back and hear some of these songs and you're like, wow, if I had a time machine, all I had to do is take fucking 4 Vengeance samples and I'd be touring the world.
It's so true. Where like equipment is at and speakers and like the actual production systems themselves, like mastering, people just keep getting better and better and better.
Sound systems completely outdo themselves every probably 25 months, and they'll put out a new product that just takes 50 dumps all over their last high-end model.
Yeah.
So it's they keep you on your fucking toes. That's right.
It's unbelievable. And one thing too is why the pandemic was an interesting time for house music. A lot of times you show people house music, it's like on a Bose speaker or on AirPods and shit, right? Which is why the car test is important. They're like, yeah, this is cool. I don't really, I don't get it. Yeah. You get that shit.
When you hear it on a full L acoustic,
blowing at you live, you're like, I get it.
Yeah. Night and day.
And that's why now everyone's like going to the fucking house shows. I mean, EDC is maybe not the best example, but also it is. Was there a total mixture of ages, types of people, like at the Martinez Bros compared to...
And it is, now, here's the cool thing about when you go to EDC.
Yeah.
Each stage you go to, it's a different genre, essentially.
Yeah.
And you could feel, the different vibes from the stages. It's crazy. Just,
really?
You can just, now, I'm not trying to, generalize or stereotype.
Yeah.
Any people of, certain music.
Yeah.
But, if you go to the bass stage there, it's just, not good vibes. You go to the house stage, it's just, I felt, scared to be there, I feel
All
I'm
red
in a
lighting,
wrong turn, I'm, roll them up,
Yeah.
No, but, when you're at the house stage, it's just, you can just, see the enjoyment in everyone's face there. It's just, it was just a cool experience,
Yeah.
I literally, I was at the Neon Garden, I didn't leave it all weekend. Michael Beebe, Charlotte DeWitt.
Sick.
Nina Kravitz. Who else? Eli Brown.
Yeah.
Just amazing, man. And then,
People are about it.
Oh.
They're dancing.
And then I'm trying to listen to their songs on my AirPods in the airport. I'm like, wait, this sounds different. You know?
Yeah,
Back to what you were
exactly.
saying, you know?
I know. But I enjoy it when I'm on my AirPods because it takes me back to those visceral
Oh,
moments
100%.
when I experience it
Yeah,
live.
you fill in all the other stuff, you know?
So what about Chicago right now, where we're at with house music?
We're in a good spot. We're in a real good spot.
Steve? I need your honest answer.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really moved. I don't think the needle's really moved for me, at least what I see over the last like 3 years.
What about Arc? That was big.
Arc was huge, and I gotta give props to them and their team. But I like
got the Arc hat on there now.
Since you and I had sat down last when I had COVID. Yeah. I don't, again, outside of, what Arc did was great and everything, and it was much needed, like, for people like Pierre, Gene, Hiroko, Heather, and all of them to get their, you know...
They were the best sets of the weekend.
You know, to get their shot on a real stage for a real time slot.
And they're fucking
not
city.
And
I noticed that, too. That they didn't, just because they're not the biggest name with the biggest followers, they didn't get the earliest set time, right?
No. By all, everybody got proper positioning on their stages, but that also goes back to this needs to be happening across the board.
Yeah.
In Chicago, a lot of outside of I think Spy Bar, Concord, Radius, Prism. All the other random little like house shows that are being thrown, maybe they'll fly in an out of towner, like a B-lister, like quick $1,000, like good booking still.
Yeah.
The people that are being included on those bills, they're the people that they're DJs. I mean, they're open format for pay. They like to say, my open format gigs pay for my underground dreams. Is a good way to look at it.
I haven't heard that.
Now on the flip side, cool, you might want to be known as a house DJ or in our realm.
Right.
But I mean, in my eyes, you don't get a seat at this table until you put the work in. If you're gonna go play 4 or 5 days open format, do your thing. Play EDM, 1, 2, 3 jump. Go for it, man. Do it.
But don't expect.
But don't try to undercut me or anybody else that's put the time, the energy, and the work in by undercutting a fee just so you can get on a show bill.
Yeah.
It's happened to me plenty of times where people would ask me to play a show, and I'd be like, sorry, I got to pass. I don't think I'm going to fit on that. Now, here's who I do think fits. Mm-hmm. And you could pass off on to other people. So it's always going to be there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's going to happen or I'm going to do something about it. Like, I'm not, because it's not my business, but it's a bad look.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to respect you for it, and I ain't going to hang out with you, and I ain't going to fuck with you. But, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
But overall, I will say...
It's an interesting point, Steve.
Yeah, no, that definitely is the vibe. I mean, I've had people that I've booked, they find out what the pay is for the place, and they go to the owners, and they're like, hey, I'll do it for half. And the owners tell me, and I'm like... And it's people that you wouldn't expect that are closer to you than you would think. And I'm like, really? That's how it is. But you know what? People like that, they don't last. But I will say the house music in Chicago is.
Yep.
And I've noticed that...
Producers here.
But not even that. Just like all the clubs, everywhere's house. All these places that used to be hip hop, there's places where that would only be hip hop. You go there and you play a hip hop song. Like, what are you doing? Play house music.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that it's becoming more
5
mainstream.
5 years ago was total opposite.
It's crazy.
Well, you're playing house music.
Crazy.
There's no vocals.
Yeah.
Play hip hop.
I love it. I love it though. I dig it.
Do you think because of that, maybe what you're talking about, Steve, the Sierra, I call it open format house. When you kind of trick people with these layered vocals into a tech house drop, that is very acceptable at many places that it did not.
Oh yeah, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it by any means. Again, all that's doing is bringing more eyes onto the genre.
Exactly.
I don't mind it whatsoever.
Oh, totally. I know what you mean.
But I'd hate to see it go the way of kind of the way open format rap went.
Yeah.
Where it's like, now you walk into a bar and they're appropriating tech house, and all you hear is the same 14 like 2003 acapellas over. It's know exactly what I'm getting at. I'd hate to see it go the same route as like when EDM first like kind of started inflating its bubble.
And I think that's the good and bad thing about this new track, Do It To It, A-Craze.
Yeah.
Nick and I both love the track.
Love the track.
Fucking slaps.
But it
like,
opened up Pandora's box.
Now Zed is mashing up the fucking Squid Game with that track, and I'm like, no! I thought the Househeads got that track. Fuck!
I shit you not. I had 2 people today at 10:16 a.m. send me the same video.
You
like,
know what I'm talking
bro,
about? Same thing happened
2
to me.
people. I was like, no way.
They're like, you should get this mashup. I'm like, I'm not gonna play that fucking
Nick's been
mashup.
playing that for like fucking 8 months now.
Yeah, I know.
And then I have to see Zed play it during a drone performance. Like, where the fuck am I right now?
I mean, look.
Yeah, I thought you made crying music, Zed.
Yeah.
No, but
he's hopping on.
Props to A-Crate. Like that's an insane track.
Exactly.
I'm just afraid of like how many of those style tracks are going to follow.
And I think that's what I was alluding to with Steve's point too. Is like we needed that track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
House music needed that track because
For sure.
that could be played at I don't know, like anything.
It could be
That was
played
this
anywhere.
year's losing it, in quotation marks.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was the track that
would
got
agree.
people that weren't into house music into house music.
Yeah.
I would agree.
You know?
And again, I'm not being a Debbie Downer. It's every year house music needs a track like that. It
Yeah, we
really
do.
does. We need the shit, but please don't appropriate it.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
like that doesn't mean
Leave it
every
in your
that
face,
doesn't
you
mean all of you go home and download fucking Napster top 500 Napster acapellas and try to fit it into 4x4. Like that's not what I'm saying, but
Go to
I
Napster.
just please
I just thought about the viruses.
yeah.
Is that where you get your acapellas?
Just you know what I meant. It's just a shitty reference, but
I have a acapella website for you.
Is it acapellas for you?
No, that's enough.
I still got an account from them. Shit, you get some good stuff off there.
Yeah, I just went recently through like all the things I'm subscribed to, just because I was like, I'm getting too many fucking emails, and it was like free MP3 MIDI or like all these ridiculous things like year one where it's like you could search like any track and it would give it to you in like GarageBand and it would sound like the fucking Smurfs playing a song, but I'm like,
The
there's the
Smurfs.
MIDI. There's the fucking MIDI to Viva La Vida. Sick. Like I'm subscribed to all those and I'm like, I have got to remove myself.
It sounds like one of those little twist pianos.
Yeah,
that plays
it's
like-
so bad. It's so bad. But, you know, that first year in production is so much fun. Like, you're playing around with presets and, like, plugins and everything is
exciting.
just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's so exciting to just like do the endless repetition thing, even though what you're making is like
Horrible.
fucking
Yeah.
trash. It's still fun to learn how everything works and your rewiring and your
Yeah.
you know and your patching and that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it goes. Is like you get this inflated ego, like you figured it out. You think you just made a banger. Like you've had Ableton on your computer for 3 hours. And you're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I made it. You're looking for agents, you know.
It's easy.
And then you like as you learn, you just realize that like wow, I'm not shit. And then you're back down here. And it's like
Yeah.
the loss of your ego in the music game, you know.
That's
And then
true.
anytime you learn something, it's like this new world opens up, and you're like, wow, I know nothing again.
Yep.
You know, and it's just
Push
a
through
constant.
every day. He sits down. He learns something new every single time I sit down and open Ableton. I won't even start a new session before I tinker.
Yeah.
Throw 20 different, VSTs into a rack.
Do some sound design,
Group
make some
it,
weird sounds.
Yeah.
You know? Do some stuff like that.
Parallel
That
it.
inspires you.
Try a bunch of different shit within that, waves table. Just mess around.
Yeah.
All you got to do is hit delete.
It's true. I was just about to ask you guys a piece of advice for producers.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Tinker with stuff.
Save
Facts.
as and
Tinker.
collect all and save is your best
Facts.
fucking friend.
Yeah.
That's it.
there you go. Send your music to the people who are going to tell you the God's honest truth.
Yep.
No,
And if a label says no to your song, rename the file and send it 2 months later.
Oh
Watch what
my
happens.
god!
And they're like, oh, this is kind of catchy.
I
It's
have
stuck in my
not
head.
heard that strategy.
Somebody, I forgot who said it.
Gene Ferris told me
Yeah.
about this.
Yep.
Gene, this has happened to Gene several times where he's gotten tracks, singles turned down from some of the biggest labels in the world. He goes, oh, I just fucking slapped a new name on that motherfucker and resent it 2 months later, and they
And
signed
it's like
it.
it's already in their head now. So they're like already kind of like familiar with it. Like, oh, this is kind of catchy. Not realizing that they already heard it.
Wow.
Game changer.
That's smart.
Yeah.
He must have thought of that when he was really high, because that's fucking next
Yo.
level shit. I
Well,
couldn't.
shit.
Well, it made a
That's
lot
not
of sense
something
to me.
sober people come up with. Yeah. Thanks, Gene.
Papa Gene.
Fuck yeah, boys. So okay, so what can you tell us about that's coming out? We've mentioned an EP. We've got something coming out in December, January,
Alright.
February, March.
December, we have a single called Futura Maxima. That's coming out on the 22nd, I believe.
Futura Maxima, that's sick.
29th of December on Slightly Sizzled. Then January 27th, we have
My birthday?
We have the 27th collab with Tombs coming out.
Dude, that
on
track
Farris
is
Wheel.
fire!
We got some new collabs too that are nasty.
Yeah. March we have the EP hopefully coming out on Envied. One of the tracks is a collab with Eyes Everywhere, and the other is, what was the other one?
Don't Leave Me.
Another single from us. And then we have collaborations. We have another one with Eyes Everywhere. We have one in the works with Niall Shepherd.
Ron Carroll. We have a dope collab with Ron Carroll. We got some awesome.
Yeah, we have a single with Ron
Insane.
that's finished that we haven't shopped yet.
Oh man,
We're gonna let him take the cake on shopping that one.
Okay.
Ron just had a defected Voices of House Music compilation that came out today. So.
Dude, I saw that.
Yeah. Ron's the man. It's Papa.
He is. Fuck yeah, boys.
But
well, congratulations on everything.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure sitting down and talking with you guys.
The best.
On a personal note, I'm a huge Basura Boyz fan.
I appreciate you. We're a big Sherman the Booth fans.
I
listen to
love
all your
doing this.
podcasts. You know?
I appreciate that, and you guys have been there since the beginning and believed in me, and I feel like here sitting now, like I can feel us all kind of leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's,
for sure.
The studio's sick, so it might feel like that.
There's something in the air.
There's something
Half
in the air.
It's me.
Yeah, no, you put your Crocs on now, so it's a little bit better in here. Hell yeah! All right, fuck yeah, boys. Man, do I love Sherman the Booth. Oh, hey, I think you do too. Hope you enjoyed that piece of content. If you're looking for more, make sure to go to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any upcoming Sherman the Booth interviews, live sets, new music, exclusive artist interviews, Sherm's Word, sub-pack reviews, and more. This is your one-stop shop for everything entertainment. Cheers.